All right, get ready, because we're diving headfirst into Bangkok.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, we're tackling Bangkok's legendary shopping scene, all in just 3 days.
3 days. That's going to be a whirlwind.
It is, but I know our listeners are all about maximizing time and squeezing every drop out of an experience.
And you absolutely can. It's ambitious, sure, but with a smart plan, you can hit all the highlights and still uncover some amazing hidden gems. I know, just the spots.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, picture this for a second. You arrive in Bangkok.
Okay.
You've got bustling markets calling your name, these mega malls you wouldn't believe, and we're talking about finding those unique treasures that make everyone back home totally jealous.
Oh, absolutely. That's the best feeling, coming home with something nobody else has.
Exactly. And, oh, did I mention the food?
Oh, the food. Don't even get me started. We have to dedicate some time to that for sure.
We will, I promise. But first, we've got to strategize. Because 3 days, that flies by in a blink, so before we get lost in the excitement, what kind of shopping experience are you dreaming of? What's at the top of your list when you imagine yourself in Bangkok?
It's all about priorities, right?
Totally. So help me out here. What are the things you're most excited to find on your ideal Bangkok shopping trip?
Well, for me, it's all about the textiles.
Ooh, textiles. Like what?
Like those beautiful silks and unique fabrics you just can't find anywhere else. The colors, the textures, amazing. I could spend hours browsing those little shops, feeling the different materials, imagining all the things I could create.
I can see that. And knowing what you're after, like you said, that helps us pinpoint the perfect places for you.
Exactly. We don't want you wasting precious time wandering aimlessly. We'll make every minute count.
Efficiency is key. All right, so we have to talk about Bangkok's malls because, let's be real, they're on another level. I'm not talking just your average shopping center.
Oh, no. These are destinations in themselves, experiences.
Exactly. So first up, we got to mention MBK Center.
Oh, MBK, that's a classic.
It really is. Over 2,000 stores, it's basically a city within a city.
You can literally find everything there, from electronics and clothing to home goods and souvenirs.
And it's known for its bargains, right?
Yeah.
You can really haggle and get good deals if you know how to play your cards right.
Absolutely. It's part of the fun. Don't be afraid to negotiate a little. You might be surprised what you can get.
All right, so MBK for the ultimate bargain hunt. But then, on the totally opposite end of the spectrum, you have Siam Paragon.
Oh, yes, Siam Paragon. If MBK is the bustling market, Siam Paragon is all about luxury. High-end designer brands, a gourmet supermarket where you can find things like truffle oil and imported cheeses.
Truffle oil. I'm sold already.
And they even have an aquarium in the basement.
Seriously. Okay, so we're going from haggling for souvenirs at MBK to, like, sipping champagne next to sharks at Siam Paragon.
That's Bangkok for you. It's a city of contrasts, and it embraces it all.
I love that. Okay, now I'm curious about Central World. Worth checking out.
Absolutely. Central World is massive, one of the largest malls in all of Southeast Asia, actually.
Wow. So what's the vibe there?
It's a really good mix of everything. You'll find international brands you recognize, but also a lot of really cool local designers and boutiques. Plus, there's a massive food court with cuisines from all over the world.
So if we're talking about maximizing time.
Central World could easily take up a whole day.
Right. Okay, noted. Now, I have a personal question because Terminal 21 always catches my eye.
Oh, Terminal 21. It's so unique.
That's what I love about it. What is it about this mall?
Well, each floor is designed like a different city from around the world. You can go from Paris to Tokyo to London all in one shopping trip.
That's so fun. And they have good shopping.
Oh, yeah. Lots of really cool boutiques with unique clothing and accessories you won't find anywhere else. Plus, it's incredibly photogenic. So many Instagram-worthy spots.
I can see why you'd love it. All right, we've got our mega mall plan somewhat in place.
But we haven't even touched on the markets yet.
Oh, I know. And that's essential Bangkok, right? The markets are iconic.
They are. And Chatuchak Weekend Market. Absolutely essential. We're talking the largest market in Thailand.
I've heard stories, like you can literally get anything there. Is that true?
It's pretty close. Over 15,000 stalls. Everything from clothing and home decor to art, antiques, and even pets. You name it, you'll probably find it at Chatuchak.
Okay, so we're going, but I'm already feeling overwhelmed. Any tips for navigating that massive market?
Well, first of all, comfortable shoes are a must. You'll be doing a lot of walking.
Noted.
And try to get there early, especially if you're going during the hot season. It gets crowded fast, and the heat can be intense.
Good advice. So Chatuchak for the full-on market experience, but what about something a little more I don't know, relaxed.
Ah, well, in that case, you have to check out Ayutthaya the riverfront.
What's that like?
It's this beautiful open-air night market by the Chao Phraya River. You can wander through the stalls, grab some delicious street food, and enjoy the stunning views. They even have live music and performances sometimes.
Oh, that sounds perfect. A
Well,
little shopping, some entertainment, all with a riverside view. Okay, I'm in.
it's a really magical atmosphere, especially in the evening when the lights are twinkling on the water.
Okay, I'm picturing it, and I love it. Now, I have to ask about Rotfei Market.
Ah, you know about Rotfei.
Well, I love vintage finds, and I heard that's the place to go.
You heard right. It's a vintage lover's paradise. Antique furniture, old cameras, retro clothing, vinyl records. It's a treasure trove of nostalgia.
Okay, I need to go there. This is why I brought you on this deep dive. So much good info already.
Happy to help.
Okay, so let's say we've hit up a couple of malls, explored a market or two. We're carrying bags full of treasures. How do we even get around this city without losing half our day to traffic? Because Bangkok traffic is legendary.
Oh yeah, the traffic can be a bit of a beast. But don't worry, there are ways to tame it. Your best friend in Bangkok is the BTS SkyTrain. It's an elevated train system that zips above all the congestion, and it connects to most of the major shopping areas.
So, when in doubt, hop on the SkyTrain. Got it.
Ah.
What about those times when the SkyTrain doesn't quite get you where you need to go?
Then you've got the MRT subway, another great option, especially for getting around the city center. And of course, there's always ride-hailing apps like Grab, which are super convenient and pretty affordable. Just make sure you have a local SIM card or a good internet connection so you can use the app.
Good to know. All right, this is already super helpful. I'm feeling more confident about conquering Bangkok in 3 days. But we need to talk about refueling, because you can't shop on an empty stomach, right? And in Bangkok, that means street food.
Oh, and when it comes to street food, Bangkok is in a league of its own.
I am so ready for this. It's one of the things I'm most excited about.
And you should be. Honestly, forget those fancy restaurants when you're here. The real culinary magic, it's all happening right there on the streets. And the best part,
Tell me.
you can eat like a king. Seriously, for just a few dollars.
That's music to my ears.
Hmm.
Okay, but where do we even start? There's got to be a million things to try. What are the absolute must-try dishes? The things we can't leave Bangkok without tasting?
Well, you can't talk about Bangkok street food without mentioning pad thai, right?
It's the classic for a reason.
Exactly. Those stir-fried rice noodles with shrimp, peanuts, a squeeze of lime.
Oh, stop. I'm getting hungry.
It's just perfection. And every street vendor has their own little twist on it, so you gotta try a few different versions to find your favorite.
Challenge accepted. All right, pad thai is at the top of the list. What else should we be on the lookout for?
If you're into soups, you absolutely have to try tom yum.
Okay, I've heard of this, but what is it exactly?
It's this hot and sour soup, so flavorful, with all these amazing herbs and spices like lemongrass and galangal. You can get it with prawns, chicken, mushrooms, whatever you're feeling.
That sounds right up my alley. I love a good, flavorful soup. But I'm a bit worried about the spice level. I can handle some heat, but I've heard Thai food can be pretty intense.
It definitely can be, but here's a pro tip. If you're not sure how much spice you can handle, start by asking for my pet. That means not spicy in Thai.
My pet. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
So we've got noodles, we've got soup. What about something a little, I don't know, lighter?
Oh, well, in that case, somtum is a must. It's the green papaya salad. Shredded green papaya mixed with chilies, garlic, lime juice, fish sauce.
What's fish sauce like?
It's this salty umami kind of flavor, adds a real depth to dishes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so somtum, it's this amazing explosion of flavors. Sweet, sour, salty, and spicy all at once. Super refreshing, especially on a hot day.
Perfect. We'll need that after all the shopping. And it's a nice break from the noodles and rice, right?
Exactly. Oh, and of course, no street food experience is complete without trying some satay.
Oh, I love satay. Those little skewers of grilled meat, usually chicken, right?
Yeah, chicken's a classic. But they also have pork, beef, sometimes even seafood. And the dipping sauce, usually peanut-based, is so good.
Okay, you're making me really hungry here. But with only 3 days in Bangkok, how do we even begin to tackle all this deliciousness?
Well, Chinatown is a must-visit for any foodie.
Chinatown. Okay.
Yeah.
Why there specifically?
It's like a sensory overload, but in the best way possible. Street food stalls lining every alleyway. You can find everything from dim sum and roasted duck to noodles and curries. It's incredible.
So is there anything in Chinatown that we should be on the lookout for in particular?
Definitely try the street-side seafood restaurants. You can choose your fresh catch right there, from tanks full of fish, crabs, prawns.
Wow, that sounds like an experience.
It is, and they'll cook it up right there for you, however you like it.
Okay, Chinatown is at the top of the list for sure. What about other areas worth exploring for street food?
Khao San Road is another popular spot, although it's a bit more touristy. But you can still find some good eats there, especially things like pad thai and mango sticky rice. And they have lots of those street-side barbecue places, which are always fun.
So Chinatown for the authentic experience, Khao San Road for the touristy vibe. Got it. Any hidden gems you can let us in on?
Oh, always. For a more local, under-the-radar kind of experience, head over to the On Nut area.
On that, okay.
It's a residential neighborhood, not really on the tourist map, but the street food scene there is amazing. Seriously delicious and affordable. Like, you can find those boat noodles everyone's talking about.
Oh, noodles.
Yeah, they're these flavorful bowls of noodles in a rich broth. So good. And the grilled seafood in On Nut, forget about it. You'll see these stalls with all kinds of fish and shellfish grilling over charcoal.
Okay, I'm adding On Nut to the list. What about late night eats? Any suggestions?
If you're looking for a late night food fix, Sukhumvit Soy 38 comes alive after dark. You'll find vendors selling everything from noodles and curries to grilled meats and seafood. It's a great way to experience Bangkok's nightlife.
Oh, I love that. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but before we move on, any final tips for navigating the Bangkok street food scene?
My biggest piece of advice is to embrace the adventure. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you don't know what they are. Look for those stalls that are packed with locals. That's usually a good sign. And don't be shy about asking questions. Most vendors are happy to explain what they're selling.
I love that. Embrace the adventure. That's my motto for this trip.
Yeah.
I'm ready to try it all. Okay, so we've shopped till we've dropped. We've planned our street food feast. But there's got to be more to Bangkok than just malls and markets, right?
No, absolutely. Bangkok is a city of contrasts. You know, you can find these ancient temples tucked away down bustling side streets.
I love that.
Serene green spaces amidst all the urban chaos.
That's what I'm hoping to tap into. But where do you even begin to scratch the surface of Bangkok's cultural scene when you only have a few days?
Well, you can't talk about Bangkok without mentioning the temple. I mean, they're not just places of worship, right?
Right.
They're architectural masterpieces. Each one has its own unique story to tell.
I've heard so much about Wat Pho and the reclining Buddha. Is that a must-see?
Absolutely a must-see.
Okay.
Picture this. A golden Buddha statue so massive it takes up an entire temple hall.
Wow.
It's breathtaking. And Wat Pho is also known as the birthplace of traditional Thai massage.
Oh, interesting.
So you can actually treat yourself to a massage after we've, taken in all the splendor.
Well, that's a good tip. I'm adding that to the itinerary. Okay, so Wat Pho with a side of massage.
Perfect.
Are there any other temples we should prioritize?
Well, if you're looking for something a little bit different, there's Wat Ben Shama Bufit, also known as the Marble Temple.
The Marble Temple?
Yeah, it's made entirely of white Italian marble. Absolutely stunning.
Wow.
It's a bit quieter than some of the other temples, so it's a nice place to just kind of escape the crowds and soak in the atmosphere.
I love that. A little bit of tranquility in a busy city.
Exactly.
Are there any temples that are maybe a little more off the beaten path? I'm always drawn to those hidden gems,
Oh, I know what you mean. Well, in that case, you should check out Wat Kalyanamit.
Oh, right.
It's on the Thonburi side of the river, so you'd need to take a ferry to get there.
Okay.
But it's worth it. It's home to this giant seated Buddha image in the setting right by the river. Incredibly peaceful.
Okay, I'm sold. Ferry ride, giant Buddha, peaceful vibes.
Yeah.
I'm in. Okay, so we've got our temple game plan going. But what about those markets we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Are there any beyond Chatuchak and Asiatique that are really worth checking out?
If you're a foodie, you have to visit Talit or Torkor Market.
Okay, tell me more.
It's known for having some of the freshest produce in all of Bangkok.
Oh, nice.
And all these little gourmet food stalls where you can sample incredible Thai dishes. It's a foodie paradise.
Okay, I'm in. Now, flowers.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't go to Bangkok and not experience something beyond, the street vendors with their beautiful flowers. Where do we go for a flower fix?
You're so right. For the ultimate flower fix, you got to go to Maeklong Talat, the largest flower market in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And get this, it's open 24/7.
What? Really?
Yes. You'll find every type of flower imaginable there. Orchids, roses, exotic blooms you've probably never even seen before.
That sounds amazing.
It's an explosion of color and fragrance.
That's so cool. Okay, so we've got some super unique markets, but are there any that really give that local experience, you know?
Oh, absolutely. For a truly authentic local experience, you have to head to Klong Toi Market.
Okay.
It's the largest fresh market in Bangkok. It's a little chaotic, but that's part of its charm.
I can imagine.
You'll see vendors selling everything, from seafood and produce to clothing and household goods.
I love those kinds of markets. You can really get a feel for everyday life. Okay, so we've got temples, markets, amazing food. What about some green space?
Yes,
I know Bangkok's a huge city, but I'm hoping to find at least a little bit of nature within the urban jungle.
you're in luck.
Good.
Lumpini Park is basically Bangkok's version of Central Park.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Huge green oasis right in the heart of the city, perfect for a morning jog, an afternoon picnic, or just a relaxing stroll to escape all the noise and the heat.
That sounds amazing. I could definitely use a bit of that tranquility.
All right.
Are there any other green spaces that are maybe a bit more off the beaten path?
If you have some extra time, I highly recommend taking a trip to Bang Krakow.
Okay.
It's also known as Bangkok's Green Lung.
Oh, I like that.
It's this artificial island just outside the city, and it feels like a world away.
I bet.
You can rent a bike and explore these peaceful paths, maybe visit a local temple, just breathe in the fresh air.
I'm adding that to my list. A bike ride through Bangkok's Green Lung after all the shopping and exploring sounds like the perfect way to unwind. Okay, so we've covered temples, markets, parks. What about the arts and culture scene?
Bangkok's got a thriving art scene.
Good. I'm curious to learn more about that.
If you're into contemporary art, you got to check out the Bangkok Art and Culture Center.
Okay.
They always have these rotating exhibitions featuring both Thai and international artists.
Oh,
It's a great place to just get a sense of the city's creative energy.
I love that. What about something a little more, I don't know, traditional?
Well, then the National Museum Bangkok is an absolute must, especially if you're interested in, Thai history and culture. It's the largest museum in Southeast Asia, and it houses this vast collection of art, artifacts, and historical treasures. You can see everything from ancient sculptures to royal regalia.
That sounds incredible. Okay, so we've got contemporary art and we've got history covered. What about something more like experiential, I guess?
Oh, in that case, attending a traditional Thai dance performance is just unforgettable.
I'd love to see that.
The costumes, the music, the movements, it's truly captivating. And you can find performances at various venues throughout the city.
All right, that's going on the list. I know we've already talked a lot about food, but
There's always more to discover.
right, I have a feeling there's more to the food scene than just the street food, amazing as that is.
You're right. Bangkok is a melting pot of cuisines. Michelin-starred restaurants, cozy cafes, everything in between.
Amazing. Okay, this is all making me realize that 3 days in Bangkok is barely scratching the surface.
That's the beauty of Bangkok. There's always something new to discover no matter how many times you visit.
So true. Any final words of wisdom for someone trying to pack it all into a short trip?
Honestly, my biggest piece of advice is embrace the unexpected. Don't be afraid to deviate from your itinerary if something catches your eye. Sometimes those spontaneous moments end up being the most memorable. And remember to be respectful of local customs and traditions, especially when you're visiting temples. Oh, and learn a few basic Thai phrases. It'll go a long way.
Those are all great tips. Thank you. I'm feeling so inspired and ready for this Bangkok adventure.
I'm excited for you. Bangkok is a city that captures your heart and leaves you wanting more, so just soak it all in, enjoy the journey, and get ready for an unforgettable experience.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've got a whole new perspective on Bangkok. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise and insights with us.
It's been my pleasure. Safe travels and happy exploring.
Until next time.